2, 1.
A school where the money you possess and your gambling ability determine your status, and those at the bottom face subhuman treatment. In an environment such as this, students will use any trick or cheat necessary to eke out an advantage. Those clever gamblers who can wade through the deception rise to the top of the food chain, and exploit those below them. The cycle perpetuates, as long as those apex predators enjoy the thrill of victory. My name's Zero, this is Kato, and today we're discussing the gambling in Kakegurui. It's hard to believe how far we've come in this last year, and there's still more on the horizon. If you want to cheer us on, please consider patroning us at patreon.com/KatoYT to gain access to our exclusive Discord, or head to KatoMerch.com to buy our new t-shirt. Links in the doobly-doo. Kakegurui basically has the same energy as that match from 1-outs with a cheating team that tried to break Tokachi's hand. Why am I acting like you know what 1-outs is? No one watched my Tokachi video. Picture a baseball game where the visiting team's dugout is bugged and their signs are being stolen. The home team's pitcher is using a ball that's been tampered with, and that same team's players are trained to discreetly injure members of the enemy team without being caught. These are the circumstances Tokachi faced. Like most of the first season of Kakegurui, it's a strong player versus a group of cheating co-conspirators. So what does he do about the unfair advantages? Involve the umpires? Hardly. Tokachi fed them misinformation, exploited a ball that couldn't be thrown carelessly, and even faked an injury to throw them off guard. At every turn, he made their tricks work in his favor. Tokachi states that those who rely on cheating to win end up becoming suffocated by their own tricks. This is exactly what we see happening in Season 1 of Kakegurui, when Mary loses because Yumiko sees through a collusion trick with a hand mirror, or when Itsuki's trick cards make winning an entire game of concentration on a single turn possible. But while Tokachi puts this much effort forth to win the game, Yumiko works just as hard to put herself in the most precarious position possible. In Season 1, the only people who didn't cheat against Yumiko were Kaede Manyuda and the student council president herself. But to say Yumiko wins against everyone who does cheat by seeing through their trick and using it against them is negligent of what makes Yumiko, and by extension Kakegurui, so unique. There's no overstating the impact that a protagonist has on the story's narrative. Of course, a different breed of gambler grants us a different kind of gambling anime. Like most gambling anime protagonists, Yumiko uses cheap tricks like manipulating dice as well as natural talents like her photographic memory and keen insight to tip the scales in her favor. The difference is her goal. Yumiko finds a game with a 100% chance of winning or losing to be totally boring. She wants to experience the most exciting games possible, which to her means a high-stakes bet and perfectly equal chances at victory for everyone involved. Coherence is a philosophical gambling term. A set of wagers is coherent when it doesn't expose the wagerer to certain loss, even if their opponent makes the best choices. Most gambling anime center around intelligent gamblers making coherent bets and generally manipulating the odds in their favor and coming out victorious as a result. There are also shows that follow clever cheaters, who subvert the rules or evade the attention of the other players with sleight of hand to create an unfair advantage. Our protagonist, on the other hand, loathes these practices completely, and berates anyone who employs them for perverting the sport of gambling. Yumiko only manipulates the game to make the odds as random and fair as possible, often intimidating her opponent in the process. To her, the beauty of gambling is in risking your life on a single bet, not knowing whether you'll come out a winner or a loser on the other side. It'd be no exaggeration to her to call it the epitome of orgasmic bliss. Yumiko isn't above using clever tricks or manipulating the game to allow herself or other gamblers to experience that thrill. But try as I might to label her subversive, Yumiko Jabami still possesses a brain with the processing power of a supercomputer and the miraculous ability to memorize anything upon one glance, traits that aren't uncommon in the worst gambling anime. Yumiko truly only differs from most gambling anime protagonists in motivation, the way characters like the Joker or Carnage distinguish themselves. Insanity is their motivation. But rather than being turned insane by gambling, Yumiko argues that gambling appeals to the insane facet of the human psyche, and therefore to gamble in the first place is to embrace madness. Ryota Suzui makes for a great sidekick to Yumiko. Perhaps it's because he tasted the bitter hell reserved for those who've lost everything that she wished to show him the fun side of gambling. Like Watson, he's a kind of normal person that would appeal to the protagonist. A normal boy that doesn't shy away from gambling and enjoys it even after being plunged into the depths of debt is the personification of her argument that despite its insanity, gambling appeals to humanity's very nature. Yumiko's argument may stem from our tendency to take irrational risks for the sake of progress, like sailing into unknown waters to find new land, or climbing treacherous mountains to be the first to reach the summit alive. Perhaps she views gambling as a microcosm of this facet of human nature, the ambition to risk it all in exchange for something gained. Though most of his participation in the show's games is owed to his desire to keep Yumiko out of trouble, he does understand her teachings about gambling's virtue. He becomes someone courageous enough to take responsibility for his risks, as well as stand by her as she marches towards the edge of the abyss. He may not have been the strongest player, and is arguably the most sane of their friend group, but in Yumiko's eyes he's not any less insane than the rest of us. Student Council President Kirari and Yumiko are very much alike, but Yumiko doesn't seem to share her sadism. On the contrary, I think she loves humanity, to associate it with a hobby she loves so dearly. And so of course, in this school full of gambling monsters, her closest friend would be the most human. With Yumiko Jabami as its frontwoman, Kakegurui appears to believe that today's gambling anime have gotten stale. It seems to look down down on the Komblin gambling protagonist, because anyone as skilled as Yumiko being totally invested in victory is almost guaranteed to attain that victory, and according to Yumiko, when victory is certain, it becomes boring. But when that character's goal is the most fair and random game possible, you stand a chance of convincing the audience the protagonist can actually lose. Yumiko seeks the most exciting game possible, which results in an exciting show. When you put it that way, Kakegurui kinda sounds like a criticism of gambling anime. But serialization turns a subversive into another example of the genre it's examining. Like with One Punch Man, I show up to laugh alongside the protagonist at the genre the show deconstructs, and end up being pulled in by the same allure found in the shows we're calling derivative. And interestingly, they both decide to use the extra time to discuss life, between Saitama's ennui and Kakegurui's games being metaphors for life. And indeed, this analysis may sound like a criticism of Kakegurui, but I never said I didn't enjoy it. Its self-aware approach to the genre makes for thoughtful and thematically consistent content. As I've already admitted, the show is certainly exciting. While no gambling series will surpass Liar Game in terms of the complexity of the games portrayed, Kakegurui offers its own unique and complex challenges for the characters to face. If you read the synopsis for the show and got intrigued by the concept of a gambling school anime, you certainly won't be disappointed. And the commentary on gambling anime as a whole may even be an unexpected bonus. So Kakegurui has a good conceptual grasp of gambling. Tune in next week when I determine Death Note actually features a pretty good rivalry. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, I ask that you like, comment, and share because it honestly helps out the channel. The support of loyal followers like Spencer IRuleAtGames means everything to us. And if you'd like to get a shoutout in a future video, head to patreon.com/KatoYT to payroll our anime addiction, and gain access to our patron-exclusive Discord server. If you want to pitch in but fear commitment, feel free to head to KatoMerch.com to purchase a Kato shirt. Tweet your Kato shirt at us once you get it. And if you made it this far, you may have already done so, but go read Hoodie's comic Always Tomorrow. Read it again if you must. That's all for this one. My name's Zero, this is Kato, and we'll see you again next week.